Hey everybody, TBC here. Today's video I wanted to bring you one of my favourite quests I have ever done in Kunark, and that is the quest line for Greenmist. That is certainly more epic than epic. Before we get into the video, just want to give a huge shout out to our channel members. Thank you so much for your support. If anyone's interested in becoming a member, the button is down below. As I said, a quest line that is more epic than epic. I did it last on Yelinak on my Shadowknight, and it was a quest that I really enjoyed, much more than the epic, which can be just sitting around in Tox waiting for one mob to spawn that immediately depops when somebody hands in. Not epic whatsoever. But this quest is so much fun and I really enjoyed it, so I put together a video showing you exactly how you can get it done on Oakwind on any TLP in Kunark. Ah, Yelinak, you were a fine server, and I really enjoyed my Shadowknight in Classic on that server that I played up to Planes of Power. So here I am holding the Greenmist, a sword that I actually really enjoyed the quest line for, and it's definitely worth your time to do it on Oakwind while we're in Kunark or on any future TLP if you are playing a Shadowknight. Now you don't have to be an Ixar, you can do it as a Dark Elf as I did, and as you can see there's a few extra steps that you need to do, but nothing too crazy, mostly just some factioning. And if we're going to have a look at the actual sword itself, it's a one-hand slash with a huge ratio for Kunark, like 0.8, a nice buff as well, and the best thing about it is you'll be pulling it out again when we come to Lucklin, and it's really useful in SSRA against like Emp where you need Bane weapons. And just comparing it to the Epic, which is a two-hander, yeah, the Epic's got much better stats, but I'm calling it Greenmist is just cooler. So like I said, if you're not an Ixar, you're going to have to do a little bit of factioning first. The easiest way to do that is bone chips. You're going to need a few thousand. It gets one faction per 4 bone chips. And as you can see, the best place to do that is in the Penance newbie yard, because the skeletons here spawn very frequently. Now as you can see, there's this mage here, and this is totally legitimate gameplay, I'm sure. You know, I'm sure that this gnome mage is very much actively playing. I don't see anything wrong whatsoever. No, he's just pet attacking, you know, target a decaying skeleton, pet attack every 2 seconds or so. Completely legitimate, but yeah, this is the best place to come. Word of warning though, you know, the GMs do like to come to this spot. They know about it and they know the shenanigans that goes on. So yeah, word of warning on that one. You can buy the bone chips as well. It'll probably set you back a little bit to get a few thousand, as that's what you will need if you are not an Ixar to pull yourself out of KOS. Let me know in the comments down below. Do you think this is okay? I'm fairly certain this is just an auto clicker that's going every couple of seconds. At least that's what it looks like. Because like it totally ignored the ones that spawned really close then, just for like a second before it went back. Yeah, that's an old auto clicker, isn't it? Another thing you'll have to do if you are not an Ixar is the Penance quest, because you don't have a starting Ixar Shadowknight weapon, which means you've got to do the Peasants quest, and oh boy, is that a treat of a quest, I'll tell you right now. You speak to the scribe, who sends you to the toil master, who gives you a book that is just about how bad of an Ixar that you are and how bad you've been, and now you've got to do a really important task to make up for it that only the best of adventurers can do. Thank you, toil master, for this book. Basically the book tells you that you got to ask him for the hammer and the bag, so you know, you go ahead and do that, and he does give you a hammer and a bag, and I have to say it's the best hammer in the game, bar none. Really is. It's fantastic, and a weapon that you'll definitely use with those stats. One last stop before we can get going though is we need the grotesque mortar and pestle, which you get up in this building from the mortician. He was asking for the mortar and pestle and he gives you one, and that's what we'll use to get the bone chips or whatever to then smush down into like a, I don't know, like a powder, and then that's the powder that you put into the bag. So yeah, you need lots of these bone chips. It's going to take a while. Now once you've got your ham in the bag, the easiest way to do it is find a friend or a box and just duel and beat them, and that's the fastest way to do it because you'll proc all the time and it won't take you anywhere near as long as if you're running around and trying to do it against these like low level NPCs. And you know, you can come to the newbie yard and start hitting them, and that's probably the intention of doing that, but it will take forever to try and do it. As you can see, I'm already starting to get some. It's just a case of just smashing things. I really wouldn't recommend doing it this way. Like, this is the worst way to do it. It takes forever. Oh, there we go. I mean, the one good thing is, like, even at a high level, stuff here just aggroes onto you like crazy. You're just hoping for a proc. And once you've filled your mortar and pestle, you can go ahead, press combine. That gives you the powder. The powder is then what you put into the bag. So we need to fill all but one of these slots with this powder. So, you know, you can imagine then how many bone chips and how many mobs you need to kill. It's a lot. So once you've got all your things together and your pot of water, which you can bet from a vendor in the town, you press combine and you get the filled bag. Now with the filled bag, you go back to your guild and you give them the bag and the book that tells you how naughty you've been, and he gives you your newbie sword and you can start the quest proper. So only bad Ixars that delete their stuff, and like dark elves or humans or erudites that are doing this quest as well, yeah, they're the only ones that have to do the Penance quest. So our first test, the Crusaders test of the pawn. We simply need to fill a Sarnak head pack. We get the pack from Lord Gigzik. You don't need to get it first, but you can. And we're going to put 4 Sarnak whelp heads from Sarnak hatchlings that spawn in Lake of Ill Omen into the head pack. It won't take you long to do this. The hatchlings are kind of everywhere and you pretty much always drop their heads. So yeah, maybe 15 minutes if that. Once you've got your 4 heads, you want to head back to the quest giver. Make sure that you put them in the bag and combining it before you give it to him. We're going to give him the bag and our initial weapon, and we just give and we get a slightly better sword. Still really bad. Now for the next section, we are going to head over to the Swamp of No Hope because we need to kill some Froglog Raiders. Now I typically find these Froglog Raiders in kind of like the north and the east of the zone. The skippers here, like this dude, they're no good, they don't drop what we want, and we actually need 9 different items from the raiders, so it's gonna take us a little bit of time, and this is like probably the first part where we might get a little bit of competition for them because they don't spawn all the time. I read a lot of things saying they only spawn at night, and they can spawn over quite a large area that you have to do some running around. So what we need from them, we need 8 different pages, like the notes here that we just got off this one, and we need the tomb binder to kind of put them all together and combine them in. So it's going to take us a little bit of time killing these raiders, but persevere and they do show up eventually. Again, if you're doing this at a high level, you know, nothing here is a challenge. The biggest challenge is just finding one. So again, we killed one. Yeah, we got some aggro or something else, but whatever, no big deal. They always drop a quest piece. So we got another page there to add to our collection, so we're up to 5. You get one that's not law from the quest giver when you accept the quest, and the rest come from the raiders. So yeah, there's 8 different ones that are law, and then the tomb binder. It's going to take a little bit of time here, probably at least an hour, 2, 3 probably. I can't remember how long it took me last time, but definitely more than 1 hour for sure. When you're done, it should look a little like this. You've got your book, which is going to be all nice and filled with those pages. You press to combine and it seals up all nice and tight, ready to head back to Kabbalist. To the quest giver, we give him the book, we give him our last weapon, we hit give, and he gives us the next one. Yeah, it's still really bad. So the next quest starts with Lord Corzin, who's right next door to the previous guy, which is pretty handy, and he wants us to go to Kern's Tower and get a glowing skull from Skellington, and that's it. That seems pretty easy to me. So to Kern's Tower we go. Now it only drops off kind of like the higher level ones, none of these like lower level ones, so greater scale bone, and the lesser ice bones and the lesser char bones are the ones that we are looking for. I think typically you can get those from the very top floor, so that is where we're going to head. And we're going to try killing some of these scale bones, and yeah, there, I don't know, nothing from this guy. He is not for dropping the glowing skull that we need, unfortunately. So I make my way up to, like, I don't know, the old dining room, I guess, in Kern's Tower. Right at the very top there's a lesser ice bone. I'm just going to start claiming them. Might as well start with this dude. It's good enough to me, and he is going to go down, and does he drop the glowing skull that we need? Yes, he does. We got it. The glowing skull. Thank you, Lesser Icebone. That's all this step takes. That's really straightforward. 10-15 minutes max. Back to Kabbalist we go. Give him our newbie kind of sword. Give him the glowing skull. That's all he wants. He's got a nice easy step. I like this guy. And there we go. We get the next one. Which, yeah, it's still nothing you'll use. Starting to get a little bit of stats though, so that's nice. For the next step, Lord Kaiser is going to send us to Warslick's Wood, so we're going to head over that way right now. So you want to come to pretty much a giant fort in the middle, and what we're after killing is these saplings. Don't bother with like the evergreens or whatever they're called. I mean, you might need to kill them, but we're after like 2 spells, 2 bad spells that these giants are too stupid to write down, which is crazy because they're low level spells. They can't get gate and life tap, so we're looking for misspelled gate and misspelled life tap from these ones. Just keep killing the saplings, you'll get them eventually. Sometimes you'll get duplicates of the one you don't need, so if someone's like left corpses, just double check them because they might have the one that you need as well. And I don't know why, but I generally find this dude on like the west side of the giant fort to kind of be the most consistent. Like just always spawning as a sapling and dropping the spells that we need, and hopefully, you know, we'll get them next time. Once you get them both, the misspelled gate and the misspelled life tap, stupid giants, we need to go over and get a ground spawn. Now this ground spawn is in such the most random location ever. Here's the map. I'm just going to zoom all the way out, and it's right in the northwest corner in the water, so north of the Dalnir zone line. Especially if you've got Burrell's maps, it makes it easy to find. You will see there is a ground spawn there. It's a scroll in a bottle, and that's where we are going to head. And easy enough, there's the bag. You can just right where it says it's going to be, you pick it up, you get your scroll, as easy as that. But maybe I should have done this before I set off, because I had to go back. You need to come and find the vendor right here in the middle of Cabalist East, Clock Daitar, and we need to buy a shovel from him. Yeah, just a regular old standard shovel. And back to Orslit's Wood. Now, the last time I was here, I was looking for the Shady Goblin, but not this time. I'm same area, right outside the gate, but you're looking for this Ixar facing the wall. You give him the spells, you give him the shovel and the scroll. He proofs, but he gives you something else, another piece of paper, and this is what we need to give to our quest giver. So back to our bro still atop the Shaman and Shadowknight guild in Cabalist. He's just chilling out up here, and you want to go ahead, give him your previous sword, give him that piece of paper the knight give us, and we get a slightly better sword. And would you look at that? Slightly better. Next up we have the test of Betrayal, and this one's actually a little bit interesting, especially from anyone who's doing this for the first time, and maybe you've played World of Warcraft in the past, but I think this is one like the first examples or earliest examples I remember of an escort quest, and that's what we will see. Now we want to make our way down in the tower, but don't do what I did here and go down the wrong tower. Because I'm looking around going, where's that Crusader guy? I don't see it. And then the realization, oh, I'm in the East Tower and I meant to be in the West Tower. And these towers are very, very annoying because it's kind of like switchbacks on ladders. And if you've got fast run speed, they're a bit hard to kind of to latch onto. Yeah, don't make this mistake. Go down the right ladder. The worst thing is, like, you can't do this with Lev really as well, because you just get stuck on some of these ladders. It's terrible. So you go down the west one, and there he is. There is our Crusader, as happy as Larry. So we speak to him. We ask him about the matter of the Sharasis tome, and he gives us eventually a coin. So we get the coin, and we told him we're going to apprehend the traitor, and we're going to take the coin over then to Feronavi. So in Elf Town we come, and we're looking for one particular wooded elf friend, and that is Tracker Azil. Now he will be KOS, and so you want to make sure you keep your distance from him if you're in Ixar. Now just before he goes on his patrol, he does actually switch faction. He kind of repops. It's like a different version of him, and that version is not KOS. It's indifferent to kind of everybody, and he'll do that just before he goes out on his patrol. So that's when you know it's time to kind of peek up and pay attention, because otherwise he's gonna abscond and you're gonna miss him. So I stepped away at this point and went to grab a cup of tea, and as I was just getting bored waiting around for this guy, and off he went. And I came back to my computer. I'm like, oh, where is he? Where did he go? I missed him already. And you think he'd path over the bridge in a regular fashion? No, he doesn't. So I'm trying to like pick up his path. Thankfully I find him, and we're gonna kind of speed through this because this is like an old-fashioned kind of escort quest where you just have to follow him. He doesn't get attacked or anything. You've just got to follow him. So I'm trying to like pick up his path. Thankfully I find him, and we're gonna kind of speed through this because this is like an old-fashioned kind of escort quest where you just have to follow him. He doesn't get attacked or anything. You've just got to follow him. But eventually, after what feels like an eternity, following this silver wood elf dude across the south shores of Feronavi, he does in fact stop. Hooray! Thankfully he stops, And when he stops, we want to give him our coin, and he turns into Hero Goxnock. Now, Hero Goxnock, guess what he's gonna do? If you guessed an escort quest, then you, sir, are right. We are going to be doing another escort up now to kind of like the tunnels. If you look on the map, in the east part, it looks like a big fortress, and that's kind of where we're going to be escorting him to. He does let you know that should you lose him, he will be there. He'll be waiting for you. That's a good guy. But like any good escort quest, he gives you a minute first before he sets off on his way. Now, this bit of the escort, it has a bit more flavour. There's the occasional text, bit more kind of interest, because yeah, maybe they realise that you've already done 20 minutes of this, and maybe making him stop and give some white text about how he's seeing stuff in the distance is the what will help break it up and keep the player engaged. At least we get to look at a tail now and not a wood elf. So after what feels like an eternity, we finally get there. We get to our destination, and Hero Goxnock will stop and he'll point at this Drachnid spy. So this is where we get to actually do something. We get to say bye bye to this Drachnid spy. You just kind of hail him and then he attacks, and yeah, we just destroy him, no problems. Once you've done that, you want to loot the no drop item, the book from him, and now Hero Goxnock, now it is going to be your turn to die. There is lore to it about there being a traitor and finding out who it is, and this Goxnock, he's saying if you ever tell anyone, you will die or keep it a secret forever. Well, that can only mean one thing for you now, Hero Goxnock. It's time for you to go under. Yes, we're going to attack him. Greenmist here. He does cast Harm Touch, so just be mindful, but he's not difficult whatsoever. And he is going to die in very short order. Oh, he's off walking. I always like the Everquest slow walk. Am I ever going to be able to hit him? Yeah, eventually he does go down. Oh, and we want, you guessed it, the other book from him, the copy. And with those down, well, back to Cabalist we go. So back to Lord Kaiser overlooking the city, give him our previous sword, and the book we got from the spy, the book we got from Hero Goxnock, and we get our next sword. There it is. A little bit better again. It's not Greenmist though. So for the next quest, we actually have to do a sub-quest for the Visceral Dagger, which will involve us going to one of my favourite zones, and that is Dalnir, over in Warslick's Wood. So if you know anything about Dalnir, it's kind of split into 3 levels, and once you're down each level there's no going back. So I'm just going to run through this super quick, and I'll probably still get lost because I always do in these initial tunnels. When I get through, I kind of know a little bit better about where I am going. So you're kind of following this to get like to this entrance, and this zone is so good. I really like it. It kind of reminds me of an early, Tower of Frozen Shadow as well, with the different levels, and it's really good if you want to go and get achievements, because there's so many different races here. So if you want to get those achievements for killing like erudites and nibblers and dwarfs and dark elves and goos, whatever it is, you'll find them in Dalnir. It's a very varied zone for that. So what you want to do, you want to drop down the kind of crypt. Eventually I'll go, there we go, I fall all the way down, and the first guy that we want to go find is in the kind of like northeast. So there is a zone out up here, and we kind of follow it round until we get to the 4-way, and if you look, I've come to the zone out, and if I've come to the zone out, I've gone the wrong way, and so have you. So don't follow me here. We want to go back and head to the east of this area, so back to that kind of 4-way, and east and north, and then west. So I probably just skipped ahead a little bit, so we'll just run through super quick. to the north, and what you want is this kind of end room. Here it is, and where that believer is, that's our mob. So that's the placeholder and the one we're gonna want to kill. Now this bit can be slow, and you probably are going to have some kind of competition in this, but you know what, there's 3 separate camps that we need to go to here, 3 separate mobs. So if someone's at one of them, just kind of go to the other, and eventually you'll be able to cycle around. At least that's been my experience when I've done this quest before. So the Cly Imprecator, whatever they're called, that's what we want to kill. This one drops, and the hilt, and that's what we need, and we are done for this guy. And on to the next one. Now the next one is on the next floor down, and it's not hard to find. It's not as mazy as this one was, but we want to go back to that kind of drop down room. Here it is, and what we want to do, see that checkered floor down there, that's what we want to fall down to the next level, and then you just head south and into the headless statue room, and that cohort right there, that is our placeholder and the one we're gonna wanna kill. I got real lucky. It was like the first spawn cycle. I got the Undead Blacksmith, which is the mob we want for our Greenmist quest. Again, nothing here is really hard, and he goes down like a sack of spuds. And we get the hammer. There we go, that's what we want from the blacksmith. And then on to the next. So when we're done with the blacksmith, we want to kind of head to like the Sarnak Church, the Church of Dalnia, as I like to call it. And we want to go back to like the drop down room where we fell down and landed on this dark elf, and head kind of to the north, where we will get to the church. So you want to follow it around, ignore the one way, we're not going there yet. And here's the church room, and it's kind of like the pastor, I guess, that we want to is our placeholder, which is right now a follower. And eventually we get it, the next Imprecator. These ones didn't really take me too long to get when I was doing them on Yelinak either. I don't know, maybe I just got really lucky with these ones. And he goes down really easily, and there we go, that's the drop that we want from him. Kind of looks like a fang, and we are out of here from the Church of Dalnia. So there we want to kind of head towards the zone out, so we want to go back to this room that we went past and through this little like coffin-y thing, and that pops us through and back up to the tunnel, so you can follow it around, and there you go, we're back in like the kind of like entrance tunnel area, but it's a different area, you can't get to it, and we're going to follow it through. And when we hit like just before we hit the dining room, we want to come to this laboratory, and that cohort right there in front of the tables is our mob. Now this guy took me forever. This guy probably took me close to 8 hours on Yelinak to get the Imprecator that I needed. And there we go, we got our piece, which looks like another fang, and we're done, but not quite done in Dalnia just yet. In fact, it becomes a very central zone for the last part of the quest on for Greenmist. So no, we don't quite want to leave just yet. We need to head back out to like the four-way and into like the blacksmith room. And right, yeah, a lot of Sarnaks right now. I don't know what this guy's doing on top of the forge, but we need to go to the forge, put all the items we just got, and hit that combine, and he gives us another little sword, like the Vicarious dagger, Vicarious, I don't know, some kind of dagger. But that's it, this one is done. So back to Cabalist we shall go. Give our stuff to Kaiser, and we are out of here. And we get our next sword, which is again a little bit better and starting to get a few more stats and an effect. So for number 7, can you believe we're on number 7 already? So quick. We want to come to Kazora. Now you might know Kazora as the place you come to wait and sit on a patch of purple dots. to click, or you might come to get the Zygosian dagger that Zygos drops, so you can go to Howling Stones. But not us, although this area, you know, it's the area we come to. Everybody knows what the upper floor here looks like, but we're not after the upper floor. We want to go back downstairs and look for the failed Crypt Raider. Now, this guy actually didn't take me that long on Yelinak, because I was able to do it while waiting for this purple patch of sparkles to spawn. So we're going to do that. I find typically the best where he spawns is kind of right out front, so you just chill out in the courtyard. And this is a cool little courtyard, right? It's definitely got a kind of vibe to it of being like an old kind of manor or something like that. And we're going to wait. So the failed Crypt Raider, down he goes. He spawns right in front. He's kind of like a little skeleton, and he drops the parchment. Now we need a whole bunch of these parchments, but only one from this guy. So we're thankful that we are going to be done in Kazora, because there's so many ghosts here, it kind of gives me the creeps. Alright, this is what I think is probably one of the worst parts, because I really don't like City of Mist. And that is where we come in the stables, you take a right into this kind of double room, and there's the Spectral Courier, that's where he spawns. And that's who we are going to want to kill. Now, from City of Mist, we actually need 3, I think, of these parchments. And that's kind of annoying, because I think there's only 2 spawns. There's one here and there's one outside. I've never seen him spawn outside. I've only ever got the pieces that I needed from this spawn point. So I just kind of sit on it and just kill him every time he spawns. It's going to take a while. Hopefully this picks. And hopefully you're the only SK there trying to do this, because yeah, it can be a bit of a wait and a bit of a pain. Not hard, just time consuming. So get him down, kill the courier, see what he's got on him, and there's the next one of the parchments that we need. Yeah, only 2 more to go from this zone, and like I said, he can apparently spawn in different spots, but I've never seen it. A lot of people say it's this room kind of right here that he spawns in, but again, never seen it. So kill the courier a whole bunch, and eventually your inventory should look like that. You've got 4 of them, and it's time to move on from City of Mist. Thankfully, don't like this zone, don't like this beta quest. And then next it takes us to Mistmore. It's like actually an epic that takes you across the world now, not just across Kunark. Maybe you've got this as you were leveling up. A lot of people do, because they do drop. And what we want to do is make our way very carefully, sort of, you know, to the castle. The mobs here aren't hard, but they social like crazy, so it's very easy to get swarmed. When you get to the castle, open the gate, go inside. You can always see if the cloak dude's up, but probably not camp right now. Don't go downstairs. Downstairs is wrong. Lots of gargoyles, they're always good. But yeah, go back and up the stairs. And we're going to go to the library first. Take a right. That takes us into the library, and we're here to see the librarian. And there she is. The dark librarian is up, and she has one of these scrolls that we need. Now, she doesn't always spawn. It could be a placeholder, but it's not rare. It won't take you long. Nothing ever posed you a challenge, so yeah, you know what to do at this point. Send the librarian down. I really don't like the new this new looking dark elf model. It's just not good. So with that one down, it's off to see her friend who's over in the guest quarters on the other side. I had to zoom in the map because I sometimes forget which way to go. He's going to go around through the door on the left. This is the guest quarters, and into the next room to find the spot. And right now it's a placeholder. It's a definitely caution. I've always wondered if this was someone playing a joke with the name, but it is the assistant librarian, but it's a dark-assed librarian. Yeah, I don't know if someone was trying to be a bit funny with the naming of this one. Not any different than the last one. It will take you about 10 seconds, if that, to take it down and get another scroll that we need. And now that we're done in Castle Mistmore, the next stop is Droga. Droga is a common zone. A lot of people will be here farming goblin skins because they're a good little learner and the only way to raise your Sarnak faction, really. And what we want to do is head to the jail, and what I like to do is kind of follow it round, and you kind of come to like a one-way where there's a drop that you won't be able to come back from. The only way out from there is a fake floor that puts you right in the jail cell, but that's actually where we want to be. There it is. So what we're looking for is the Goblin Pen Keeper. He kind of drops in that drop down room, as where you'll typically find him. You'll have an interrogator next to him, and he has a key that we need, and that is this one, the stone key. This one took me a really long time to get this section. I don't know why. Be careful when you're reading the wikis about this part of the quest, because these mobs do eventually get moved to the Frontier Mountains and they are not there. So don't go there, don't kill in Frontier Mountains because you won't see them. You need to come to the jail in Droga. And once you've killed him and you've got your stone key, we need to go find the other goblin, and he actually spawns outside of the jail. And you might be thinking, well, TV, I'm behind jail now, how am I going to get out? I don't have a key. And well, I will tell you, we don't actually need a key to get out of these jails because they're really bad. If you kind of just aim for the lock and just hit like duck a few times, you just kind of go through. You just kind of shimmy through. These are they're not good. So you run into them standing up, yeah, and then you kind of squat, you get through. And the one that we want spawns right here, and that's the Goblin Pen Master. Now we need a couple of drops from him. We need 2 drops. I think it's the necklace and the bone key that we've got to get from him. So you need to see him twice, and that's one of the more annoying parts of this quest, because you guarantee you will get the one that you don't need. Yeah, it's just the way it is. And these guys can be really, really rare to spawn for some reason. And again, a lot of people are confused about where they spawn because of all the bad information out there. Promise you can find them in the jail area in Droga on a TLP during Kunark. Don't go to Frontier Mountains. And with that done, in a jail cell nearby will be an enslaved Ixar. Well, he wants the keys and the necklace that we just got, so go ahead and give them to him and hit give. There you go, he disappears and he gives you this. You're like, great, a needle. Just what I wanted. Perfect, thank you. But thankfully, where we need to use that is right here in Droga, right in the jail area, and that is the Droga kind of pottery wheel. Don't know why it's necessarily pottery, but we're going to use this thread and the those parchments, and we're going to combine them all. And you'll see it's right here. Just to the right is where you will find the pottery wheel. So just go ahead and open it up. Lots of spots. Put our thread in, and then all of these parchments, every single one of them that we've spent so long getting, from City of Mist to Kazora to Mistmore. We combine them and we get a book. Thank you for the book. Just what I wanted, some light reading. And that can only mean one thing. Back to Kabbalist we go. Alright, and for handing in the book and our previous sword, this is what we get. Not bad, getting better. Some decent stats on this one. And for the next section, well, this one's you're going to be a bit careful because, well, this guy's KOS if you don't have Necro faction, because he's on Necro, and he's also the guy that gives the quest for the last one. So you either need to get on Necro faction, which is a pain, because the only way to kill that is kill those kind of Ixar bandits out in Warslit Woods. There's loads of them. It'll take a few hours, probably more. You can do it that way. That's the way I've done it in the past. I just went haywire on all those dudes in Warslick's Wood, and didn't take me too long. Well, I say that it took a long time. Let's be real. But I have heard that others charm this guy to be able to get the quest, or do it from underneath while hiding. I've never tried it. Maybe that'll work. I just got the faction when I was a Dark Elf. But he gives the quest for the last and final bit of the quest for Greenmist. And the first thing he wants you to do is head to Chardok to get a book, believe it or not. So I love Chardok. Chardok's a great zone. Spent 10 levels here pretty much. Seen it all. But what we need to do is go all the way to the bottom. And this one you probably want to bring some friends if you are not on faction. And if you can't open the door, which you probably can't if you're a Shadowknight, you're going to need a bard or a rogue to come and open a library door for you. So we want to go all the way past Graveyard and into like where the royals are. There's the Gravemaster, which is like my favourite mob in the zone. It's awesome. And we're going to go in. This door's fine, you don't need anything special for this one. In we go. And it's the next door, this door here. You're going to need someone to open it. So either a bard or a rogue. There's no other way through. That's what you've got to do. And when you come, you're into the library. Hopefully you're not KOS, because otherwise you're going to have problems if you're solo. Down we go. Let's drop down. And kind of like on the path to the royals, by the next bit is the Lawkeeper. And that's the one that we want. So we either want this one, Lordmaster Pizza Tech, or the Grand Lordmaster. Either or, doesn't really matter. Both drop our item, and we want to get these down. Hopefully nice and quick, without getting too much aggro. And there's the book that we want. Hooray! Another step done. Like I said, maybe bring 1 or 2 friends down for this one. These mobs can be pretty tough, and they can social aggro even if you're not KOS. And back at the librarian, we give him the book, and then we go on our next mission. And yeah, hopefully we're getting close. I know we're getting close. But he gives us the most epic part now, which is to take this note down the stairs. Nope, not this floor, all the way down. He wants us to take this note and give it to an X out on the bottom floor. No, I've gone the wrong way. I've gone outside. We don't want to go outside. He's just over here. Hierophant Oxen. Just says, how lazy are you that you can't drop off that note? So we give him that note, and he gives us this juice. And with the juice, we're going to the over there. So when you get to the outpost at the over there, just to the northwest, you'll find the Alchemist Grand Killer. Definitely going to need friends for this one. Probably like a group. A group would be overkill for it easily. But you give her the bottle of juice. She runs off, like kind of sprints off. And then there you have it. You've got a new mob has spawned with 5 skeleton friends. We've got the Glowing Cliff Golem. I think it was intended as you meant to kill kind of all of them, but if you just kind of wait a few seconds, the golem decides to wander off by himself, just like that. And when he's at his furthest away point, when he stops, if you aggro him, you can often get him solo without having to deal with any of his skeleton friends. If you accidentally aggro the skeletons, you can just train them off, or have someone aggro, run them away, and kill the golem. It's not too difficult, but you probably do want at least a healer and a couple of DPS just to make sure you get the kill and get him down. But yeah, nothing too crazy. It's not like we have to go into any dungeons just yet. So this guy has a really annoying kind of box to try and loot from, because I don't have the advanced loot on this. So I have to mess around trying to target, because I just cannot click it. It's just not having it whatsoever. And there we go. He drops our piece that we need, and it goes. And we're done here. Back to Kabbalist to give it to the Hierophant Master dude. He gives us it back, and he gives us a note to say we did such a good job. And and we're going to go back to the top floor to the librarian to give him the note that said we did such a good job. And the librarian's going to be super happy and give us the next and hopeful final part of this epic quest. I tell you, it's more epic than your actual epic, this thing. And yeah, it's another book. That's our reward for being, you know, a good Ixar, a good Shadowknight doing this quest. But he's not quite finished with having us run around the world just yet. We have to go to the Sarnak fort. You know, you'll see lots of mage bots in here killing the Chancellor, because he can spawn all around the place. So there'll be mages just dotted all around, hoping to get the spawn so they can sell a prod. Very annoying, but you know, is what it is. We're not after that. We're going after, like, to the north room. It's like the armory kind of room right in this corner, and we're looking for the weaponsmith. And there he is. He's up. Woohoo! That saves me a wait. So destroy him. Do what we do best. We get our piece that we need. Another hammer, believe it or not, and we can get out of here. So yeah, I'm back. Chardok, I screwed up earlier. I forgot to get another piece while I was here. Don't make that mistake. Hopefully you're not following me exactly if you're doing this, and that you do skip ahead. Because what we want to do, we want to head to the herb camp and kill this guy, an alchemist acolyte, who drops the greenest metal shard that we need. And then, okay, Howling Stone. So I hope you got a key, because you're going to need it. And we're going to be heading to Drusilla, so you can be doing it with friends, and you're going to be in a DZ, hopefully. So Drusilla's really easy. It takes a group. I showed it in my last video. This time we actually definitely do want to get the mirror and not the urn. So Drusilla, she can be split out with these golems. It takes a bit of work, but you can do it. She's not very hard. One group, as long as you got heal, slow, all the kind of good stuff, DPS, a tank, you'll get her down, no problem. It's such a cool mob, Drusilla. It kind of comes together to attack. I kind of like that. It's just a interesting mob, an interesting model that they used for it, and you know, a cool little story if you care about that as well. But yeah, get her down in like this hole, the kind of safe hole in a DZ. Super easy to split her out to here. Not very hard, just gonna will her down. Crazy that this gets a DZ, but like Chardok doesn't, and so many other places don't. And hopefully you got lucky and you get the mirror of self-loathing this time. So definitely for this quest, not the other thing. The other thing you need the urn, but this quest you need the mirror. Making sure on that. One last pit stop to Karna's castle to get the sword that everybody always picks up outside the warlord room. That's on this block, not typically always floating in thinner like it is here. But once you get it, yeah, easiest one to get, you just pick it up, that's it. Easy as that. And a quick stop in the Necro Guild in Kabbalist to see the merchant. Now the merchant, we need to buy this one right here, the supplies. We need to buy a quill, one quill and one parchment. That's it. I'm going to buy those, and then we're going to head on over to Dalnia. So back in my favourite zone in the whole entire world of Kunark, and that's Dalnia, and we're going to run through it again. It's going to be super quick, because this is it. This is it, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to complete our Greenmist right here, right now. We're going to jump down this hole. Well, we're going to complete it if we ever actually able to jump down. Let me try again. There we go. We're down. And we're going to go all the way to nearly at the end. You know where I'm going. Get this hole. Oh, why did he drop down so hard today? Okay, checkerboard. There it is. There we go. We're down. Through the one way, the like open coffin thing that we pass through. There it is. Through the fake wall. We're at the other side. Upper level. Into the caves we go. Past all the goos. We don't need you. We're heading in towards the dining room, back to where we did the forge earlier. Give the mirror to the tormented dude, and he spawns into the Haggle Baron, which is fantastic because this is the guy that we now need for the next bit and the very last bit of our quest. So the Haggle Baron, you're giving him these things, the quill, the parchment, and the Ryle sword, and he depops, but he gives you the parchment. And then the very last thing we do is back over to the forge, and this is it, so exciting. And let's open it up, put the hammer in, don't need the mirror, definitely don't need the mirror, put the block in, the parchment. What else do we put in? Let's not forget the book. Believe it or not, you put book in the forge. And this is the first of two combines that we do right here. So this is what we're going to want to combine now. We get the hammer, we get the sword back, the book back. And you'll see the sword has changed a little bit, so don't worry, you've not lost it. And then we do the forge again. And this is our final combine now. Put the old katana thing in. We put the greenish metal shard in. Put that new sword we just got in. The book goes back in for a second time. And of course the hammer, we press combine, and there it is, ladies and gentlemen. That is Greenmist. Wow, what an epic saga this has been, even going through it like this. What a fantastic sword, and what a fantastic quest line. I'm so happy I got Greenmist done. Take a minute, enjoy, and you know what, the accomplishment you feel when you complete it on a TLP is probably one of the best, way higher than the epic, that's for sure. What an achievement. Well, thank you so much for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have, feel free to hit that like and subscribe button down below. Plenty more videos to come over the coming weeks and months as we crack on through Kunark on Oakwind and into Velius. And let me know down in the comments below, have you ever done Greenmist? Have you done it on Oakwind? Will you consider doing it on Oakwind? Now, any other quests that you really enjoyed that? Hang on, these quests are actually really good and better than the epic quest. Let me know down in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. So on that, I am the Kunark, and I hope that you have a fantastic day.